Welcome to Half Past Broke with Differus, and I fucked it up again. Oh my god.
Let's go, gamers! Well, I'm not even letting you restart it. We're ready. No way. We're not restarting it. Absolutely not.
You know what I've been forgetting is the tagline where the dreams are big and the wallets are small.
Where the dreams are big and the wallets are small.
I feel like there was something I know I was forgetting.
It's on everything. It's on the logo. It's on the business cards.
I know, and I'm like,
t-shirt.
for some reason, it just was not clicking in my head when we went to go do the intro. It's been a year and a half. Give me some credit.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I'm Eric. That's different. I always point to the wrong way. It doesn't matter if you're listening on Spotify. So I'm Eric. What are you drinking?
Just more cold brew tea, man. It's just I've been loving this like cold brew black tea. Like you can get the Benton, I think is the name of the brand, from Aldi. Get like $3-4 for 100 pack, 5 bags per like big mason jar full. It's like the perfect
They're tea
thing.
bags or
yeah,
they're bags.
Yeah, tea bag.
Huh.
I don't use the loose leaf because I don't have a good strainer for it. I'd love to do cold brew loose leaf, but I don't have a strainer for it yet. What are you drinking?
You know. All right, well, as every week,
yeah,
More Energy, sponsor me, please. I love you guys. I could drink this stuff all day, every day. Please sponsor me. Send me free tubs of your product.
Send me tea.
And you know what? You know what? I was always like, not that I was complaining that like Maw was expensive, but the more I look into all these other like the G Fuel, and like the other powders.
Oh yeah, from last week we found out how expensive G Fuel was.
Maw is incredibly reasonably priced, and
for the amount that you get too.
Exactly, yeah. So seriously, Maw Energy, I love you guys. Please send me more.
Oh, sorry, I had to like readjust in my chair, and it sounded like I farted. I don't know if that came through.
Oh my god! So speaking of beverages and whatnot, and you said like tea and like cold brew tea. You know what I've been really wanting to get into lately? I always see it on TikTok, and it's really interesting. You ever see when people they have like the little scales and they have their little grinder and they put their coffee beans in and they weigh it out and they make their own like really nice like custom coffee. I think that's a really cool thing. It's something I kind of want to get into when I have more money. It's I don't want to say snobby or pretentious, but like it kind of is.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But it's cool.
Any hobby can turn into that though. Like really, like I mean, you can be a cheap coffee drinker or you can go to the extreme. Same thing with tea. You could just buy like $10 100 packs of tea bags or however much it is. I think it's like $4 or $3 or $4. But or you can buy like $100 bags of tea. Like any hobby can turn into an expensive hobby, but you can certainly enjoy a hobby or enjoy something without breaking the bank. It's
yeah. So like I don't know. Like I guess I'm kind of interested in going from just consuming coffee to like actually doing the whole process. I'm obviously not like. Yeah, I guess you do. You acquire the beans that you like. You grind them up, you weigh them out exactly, and you do the pour over, the hot water pour over in through a filter. Like I think that's a really cool thing, and it adds like I don't know, it just adds another dimension to consuming coffee. And some might see that as inconvenient, but it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah, it's nice to like. I mean, that's why I like having the tea. That's why I've gotten into tea because like if you're just drinking something, you're gonna crack it open or toss it in your Keurig, toss it in your coffee maker or whatever. But it's kind of like there's a little bit of a sense of pride. They're like, oh yeah, no, I brewed my own cold brew or I did this. I mean, like obviously this isn't the most expensive cold brew, but I do it. Like it's a habit that I've gotten into, and it feels good to do it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just it's like I said. Some may see it as an extra step. But I think it's a pretty neat little hobby.
Yeah.
So speaking of hobbies, are you ready for the world's greatest segue?
Oh my god.
It's time for figuratively bang for your buck. What do you got? Before we started, I saw like the equations flying around this man's
like
head. It looked like
flying out of my ears.
Yeah, it looked like you ever see Good Will Hunting when he's like solving the equation. That's I was getting heavy Good Will Hunting vibes from Diff before this, and I still don't know what his pick for bang for your buck is. So I'm excited. And you guys should be too.
Okay, so
what do you got?
I got a couple things, and I was gonna see if I was gonna I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to cover everything because had a hell of a Dollar Tree trip this week, like a really good Dollar Tree trip this week. So let's start off with like a couple like the basic stuff. You can get a 40-ounce thing of Sunny D there for like $1, and that was awesome. I like Sunny D, and it's a nice little like, you know, quick drink. You can get like yourself a little glass or whatever, and it's just nice to have. That was cool. I also found like these little like, I think they're 16-ounce, 12-ounce things of ice cream, and the ice cream was really good. I actually just polished it off like earlier today.
What brand was it? Do you know what brand it was?
Shoot,
was it a name brand?
Specifically looked at the brand because I was curious, but I actually cannot remember what the brand was. It was a brand I recognized. Like, it was definitely a brand I recognized, just in a smaller container. So it was like one of those like, you know, single serve containers or whatever.
Yeah, as long as you're still alive hours after eating it, it passes.
It was pretty good. Like, I gotta say, like, it had like a very good consistency, and it was a chocolate fudge swirl. Oh, so good. I don't usually have a sweet tooth, but when I do, like, I eat like, you're like, you ever seen like when you ever like depressed breakups, you sit on the couch eating a tub of ice cream and stuff like that. That's what happens whenever I get a sweet tooth. I just like ravage the freaking candy aisle for like a day, and then I feel sick the next day, and then I'm good the rest for like a year.
watching the Hallmark Channel. With a big in a Snuggie with
right,
hammering down ice cream. We've all been there.
Speaking of which,
you'd be lying if you said you didn't.
Speaking of which, like watching stuff and everything, I started taking advantage of the Amazon Prime Video, and I started watching Invincible. Well, I started watching Invincible. I binged the entire fucking series in one night. They're 45-minute episodes. I literally spent 8 hours of my life watching that. Yeah, but it was good. I really liked it. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So the card, this note thing that I took. Okay, so this was probably something that I like. At first, it was kind of just offhand. I thought it was really cool. So when I was there, I found lunch meat, cheese, and bread, which I was not expecting. The bread at least I wasn't expecting. Lunch meat and whatever. So like, as we know, everything at Dollar General or Dollar Tree is $1. So I broke down how much each slice costs for the bread, the cheese, and the salami. I ended up buying Coda salami, which was pretty good. It's Oscar Mayer brand too, so it's like
I did see they had it's tough. It sells out a lot. There's usually only like 1 or 2 packs at the back of the fridge, but they do have Oscar Mayer like bologna and salami.
So I did a breakdown of like the costs and everything, and I also like, because I already had mustard, but I did take note on what size mustard and mayo, like the condiments that I put on there on my sandwiches. I did take note of the sizes, so you can kind of break down like the cost per sandwich. So depending on what you do, I'm usually like a 1 slice per all the way up, and then I like just and if I want, I'll make 2 sandwiches. But so bread, I did a count, 7 cents a slice.
Okay.
Salami, bologna, whatever your pick, they come in a 10-pack, and it's 13 cents a slice. It was 12.5 or whatever, you know, I just rounded up. Cheese, 8 cents a slice because it's a 12-pack for $1. Mustard, 12 ounces, $1 for one of those things, and mayo, 20 ounces for $1. So if you add that all together, and the mustard and mayo, I'm not going to add into the cost. It's negligible, like a little bit of a squirt from both. I mean, you're not going to go through it that fast. All total 28 cents for a sandwich, and it was pretty good, honestly. Like, if you don't have a panini press, because I found a cheap ass panini press at Goodwill, and I just put everything through it. Put your bread in the toaster and then do everything, because it helps melt the cheese. It brings all the flavor together and everything. But 28 cents and you got a decent ass sandwich. Next week, I didn't even think to do it this week, but next week I want to look in to see what they have vegetable wise and stuff like that. Like, I don't think they have fresh vegetables, but I want to look at like canned stuff, because like, I know artichoke hearts. I did see artichoke hearts there, and I love artichoke hearts, and they're really good on sandwiches. And I also saw sun-dried tomatoes, which are really good on sandwiches as well. So like, I want to see if I could try to make like a gourmet sandwich solely from Dollar Tree next week. I wanted to throw that out there. You can make really cheap sandwiches for like 28 cents.
I throw the word gourmet around a lot. I'm actually looking it up right now. What exactly what's the definition of gourmet? Like what makes something gourmet? All right, so gourmet, a connoisseur of good food. Isn't that a gourmand?
Yeah, I think that's a gourmand.
It says dictionary, a person with discerning palate.
Oh, okay.
So just good food.
So basically, I'm gonna try to make like a more upscale sandwich. I guess I should say for $1.
No, I throw that word around all the time. And I'm like, I wonder what it actually means. You know,
I guess I didn't realize it was a noun.
I did not know either, and I have it right here. But who knows? Maybe the internet's wrong. It would not be the first time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, can't trust everything you see on the internet, kids.
So I got 2 good points, right?
Yeah.
A, that panini press, game changer. You can take a dollar store sandwich and a little bit of press, man, and that just breathes new life into that sandwich. Anything, go panini press. The panini press is like an air fryer. Just go slap anything in it.
Like seriously, it's got a steak setting. You can put like a steak on there and panini press a steak. Like it's basically
so good.
A Foreman grill. It's basically a Foreman grill. But it's just the Foreman grills are just cheaper versions of it. Like I have like a chef's panini press. I don't know how it ended up at Goodwill, but this is something you see at like Panera. It's like a really nice panini press.
I love the George Foreman grill, even though it's like, oh man, they're so easy, so simple, and like, I guess they're like healthy, but you can make shit so good. My second point about the meat and cheese in Dollar Tree is be careful. A lot of them are expired, and I know it's just a sell by date and everything, but some of them are by like months and months and months, and you can still eat them. Just be careful, you know, because you do want the freshest possible. And I've seen some shit like at the back of the fridge, like they don't check, they don't care. They did. Why would they care? I will say this
about the Dollar Tree that I go to. Like I said, it's like in a new plaza. It's a very nice one. Like everything is like it's super clean. Like the floors are clean. Like I would like slide across the floor and not have to worry about like getting, I don't know, syphilis. But
okay, I mean, is that how you've been told you get syphilis?
I don't know. I just throw a random viral infection out there, or is it bacteria? I don't know. I don't want to get.
I don't know. We'll look it up. Well, who knows? If you guys know what syphilis is, yeah, thank you. So
syphilis, a viral infection.
All right, so get back to us with that knowledge, guys. You've learned how to make a 28-cent sandwich. Now let me teach you how to make a $1 breakfast.
It's bacteria, okay? By the way. Anyway,
it's good.
So you could probably get it by sliding your junk on the floor if you teabagged it.
Is that? I was unaware we were naked in this scenario. I thought we were just like I was thinking more like a risky business, just like socks sliding across the floor. I didn't know we were butt naked, sliding like a fat seal across the Dollar Tree store.
Oh god, I feel bad for the people that are listening on Spotify because they don't actually know what we look like. So yeah, no, you do not want to see me naked in public. This would be a horrible sight for everyone.
Speak for yourself. I was
saying like me. You were talking
Greek
about me.
God. Anyway, my pick, figuratively, bang for your buck. Don't sleep on the frozen French toast. Get it. Pick it up. It's so good. It's not like, you know, something you get at a restaurant. Like it's obviously like microwaved, but man, it's comparable to like a name brand that you would get at ShopRite.
I have a legitimate
put some syrup on it. Have a nice breakfast. What do you got?
Can it be air fried?
Oh my God, do it. Go.
I might have to go buy some to see if I can be air fried. Like if I can get it to like a good like homemade French toast consistency. That would be cool.
Do it. It's do not sleep on the French toast. Get it and you will not regret it. Wow, look at that. Get it. You won't regret it.
Okay, so I have a question because like I was thinking about like, you know, basics like bread and whatever, butter. I did see butter there. Did you ever see like eggs there? I don't think I've ever seen eggs at Dollar Tree.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I believe the shady one closest to me has eggs, and that deterred me from purchasing.
I mean, because I don't buy eggs, but still, I thought I'd ask.
I was gonna say you're in a unique situation because you just got chickens plenty.
Mhm.
When was the last time you even bought eggs? Years.
6 years ago when I was still living in
Yeah.
Georgia. I think that was the last time I
Yeah.
bought eggs. I was renting there.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, cousin Diff has how many chickens? What do you got? Like a 10, 11, 12?
I think we're up to 15 now because I combined my mom's and my flock.
Yeah. So that's an amazing way to have a nice breakfast all the time.
It's so good.
And they're delicious. Whenever I go see them, I come home a dozen, 2 dozen eggs, and it's great.
I feed them red pepper flakes to make the yolk look like really red, like really orange, so they like look good. It doesn't change the nutrition value; it just looks cool.
I'm just experimenting with chickens. Like, oh yeah, give them blue food.
Birds can't taste capsaicin. It doesn't hurt them at all.
So you can't mace a bird.
I don't know. I think it would still affect their eyes. I'm just talking about their taste.
Don't mace birds. Don't mace
please
chickens.
Do not mace a bird.
Please. Yeah. Anyway, so we got our dollar store stuff out of the way. We have a bit of an interesting topic today because it's going to be a little, I guess, kind of a Q&A.
Yeah, it's going to be a Q&A.
Is that what we're doing it?
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe it, a Q&A. I mean, you and I have talked about this topic in the past, but like there's still a lot of stuff that like I don't know or just didn't retain because I don't know, I block you out sometimes.
Obviously, as one does. So if you guys don't know, something about me is I'm a photographer. It has been a hobby for a long time and more than a hobby for a short time. I've been lucky enough to be able to make some money off of it, and I think I'm confident. I believe I have a good style, and my go-to is not that I don't really give a shit about portraits. Like I can take really good portraits, but what I love is action sports. I love going to like motocross races, downhill mountain bike races, anything fast that you can like capture like a really really cool frame. I love that. So I love action sports, and I love photographing. I love photographing that. But everything else that goes along with it, I'm not the most knowledgeable. A lot of times I'm out here winging it, as a lot of people are. But so Diff's gonna fire off a few questions, and we're gonna see if I can't give some answers, and I'll let you guys in on a little insight of the things that I've learned over the years of partaking in the sport of photography.
Yeah, okay, so first and foremost, like one of the big questions I've always had about photography is that ungodly long freaking attachment on the end of it. Cause like have you seen like the nature the nature photographers, the people that have like, and it's like I've seen ones that are longer than that. Like what is the purpose of making them longer? Is it like a better zoom or what's like okay, so it is a zoom thing? I thought maybe it was just like a more finer adjustments, like, you know, with like magnifying glasses or whatever, or like the scopes.
Yeah, it's basically just like layers of glass. Yeah, generally the longer physically the lens is, the longer zoom it is. This is a 70 to 200 millimeter lens. This is if you see anything bigger than this, people are going for like wildlife.
Okay, so that's like okay.
But this is a very very common lens. This is a Canon L series f4 70 to 200 millimeter, and this is basically the go-to sports lens. It's a great portrait lens. It's a great action lens. Like this is a do everything, go anywhere. Like it's almost a must-have in your equipment as far as versatile lenses. You know, because think about it, 70 millimeters to 200 millimeters. That's a big range, and to have to have a high quality lens that can, you know, take killer shots at 70 millimeters and 200, and it's technically it's longer than 200 because on my camera, I have a crop sensor, which means it's magnified by 1.6. On Canon, I think Nikon might be 1.5. They're all different, but my crop factor on here is 1.6, so it's like over 300 millimeters. Now, it depends if you shoot full frame or crop sensor. I have a crop sensor.
All right, before you go,
I have a longer range.
Before you go too far, because you're saying words that I don't know and stuff like that. So like, okay, so I'm gonna ask the question because everyone's like, oh yeah, my camera and my phone can zoom pretty far in. So like,
Mhm.
does like the big lens like just kind of keep it from getting like blurry and fuzzy, like it like just having like that extra length and stuff like that? So like, you know, like when your phone, when you go to zoom it in or whatever,
Yeah.
you try to get closer, it starts to get blurry, it gets really like shaky, and it gets like super pixely. Like, is that like having like the bigger lens like just kind of allow you to get closer without compensating quality, basically?
There's zero quality drop. If I'm pinned at 200 millimeters, it could it's probably even better at 200 millimeters than it is at 70.
Okay.
And the arguably, it depends what you're going for. Artistically, um, if you're shooting a portrait, and do you know when you see pictures and the background is all blurry and blown out?
Yeah.
That's called bokeh, Bokeh. So if you're at 70 millimeters on this, there's less compression. So you're not going to have as blurry of a background. But as you zoom in, it tightens it up and adds more compression. And it's focused in on that one thing. So the background is going to be more blown out. And that has to do with a lot of things. That's not strictly compression, that's a lot to do with your aperture as well.
Okay. And then like, is the aperture like in the camera or is it in like the lens attachment? Is that like something that like you would
It's
have to?
it's both. Okay.
Okay.
So they have ranges. They have ranges. Your camera body has a range, and your lens has a range. So
Hmm.
basically, the more money you pay, the lower your f-stop number is going to be. I didn't have enough money for the really big boy expensive 70 to 200 millimeter, so I bought a used f4, which means the lowest it can go, the lowest f-stop is f4. The more expensive model of this goes to f2.8, and that's like I think that's three full stops of light, which is, it makes a big difference. If you're shooting in low light, a lot of times, if you're just trying to get the picture and you have nothing like creative in mind,
Hmm.
a lot of times you want the lowest f number possible. So the 2.8 will allow more light in, so you can get a shot in slightly lower light without having to without having to sacrifice other options,
Okay.
because it's about balance. There's the three things. There's shutter speed. There's way more than three things,
Yeah.
but basically the first thing you learn when shooting manual is your aperture, your shutter speed, and your ISO, and all three of those things work together to produce the type of picture you want.
Now I kind of understand shutter speed. Shutter speed is just like how fast it closes and captures the image, correct?
Yep, basically.
So I see ISO a lot whenever I look at any sort of thing camera setting wise and stuff like that. What exactly does ISO entail? Like I'm gonna start
Fake light.
from lens all the way back. So it's fake light. So it's just
Fake
basically,
light.
is it like kind of like backlight compensator on
Yeah. So basically, it's fake light. It's oh no, it's too dark. Let me crank my ISO up
Mhm.
to allow more light into the photo. But generally, the higher your ISO number, the more grainy and more noise you're gonna have in your
Okay.
picture.
Oh, is that why like
So
the night vision cameras, like the trail
yeah,
cams, always look really super fuzzy? Is because it's trying to capture like the littlest amount of light to.
yeah, pretty much. I don't know much about the trail cams, but generally,
That's why they haven't caught
you,
Bigfoot yet.
yeah, that's it. So basically, no. Now every single thing I say here, you could get another photographer and say, oh well, that's not 100% true, because there's in every single situation, everything is circumstantial, everything is situational. So what I'm going to say right now is arguable. Generally, you want to be at the lowest ISO possible. Some people will say, "Oh well, if you go slightly above it, yeah, okay, sure." But like, if you're at 100 ISO, you're gonna generally get a clear picture. You want to keep your ISO as low as possible, and then on the other end of it, unless you want that noise, unless you want that grain, and then you can bump your ISO up.
Okay.
And it's fake light. The higher your ISO number, the darker a location you can shoot in, but you're gonna sacrifice quality. So you generally want a low ISO number
Oh,
if you're looking for a clear photo.
okay. And all right. So like moving back, because like I'm just going off of like what I know about like any sort of camera stuff, like I know white balance is a huge thing, and like,
Mhm.
is there? I kind of know that you're like, depending on the type of lighting, white
Yes.
balancing makes a huge difference. Like, can you kind of elaborate on like what need to white balance off of, depending on the situation, like outdoor versus indoor and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be 100% honest. I keep mine on auto white balance at all times. Never there. Some people use it's called a white card, and you hold up what you know in real life is white, is true white, and you take a picture of it, and in your camera you can adjust it to show that true white. I think there's something about like 17% gray. I don't know. I don't do, I do all my white balance in post. If I look at a picture and I say, you know what, that looks a little off, I just go to the little slider in Lightroom and I adjust it. 9 times out of 10, these cameras, these modern cameras are so spot on that I keep it on auto white balance. I don't even think about it. You know, there's a lot of stuff about photography I don't know because I don't well, like, go to Lightroom. I don't know. Adjust it afterwards if it's not good. So
So it doesn't, like, it's not difficult to like fix the white balance in post on a picture. Like, that doesn't like affect too much.
not it affects absolutely nothing. But you do need to have an eye for it.
Okay.
You need to have an eye for it, and you need to make sure that your monitor is color correct.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. Looking at it on a screen is gonna definitely
Yeah,
change it, because like, even like looking at my two monitors, like the color is very different on each screen.
exactly. Yeah, and that's a big thing because if you have, I used to edit on a bad monitor. The color was bad on mine, but everything else was good. So I would edit a picture, real quick, drag it over to my second monitor where the color was better, but it was like an old TV, so it wasn't a better monitor. I check it, I say okay, and then and then I just like it's terrible, but I just learned. I just learned that
Yeah.
okay, so the picture doesn't look like what it should, but I know it's correct. It's all about having an eye for white balance. And it's different styles. You know, you can take a picture of someone and in like a super bright situation, but if it's like fall time or something, I like to bump the white balance up a little just to give it like a slight orange tint to give it that autumn feel. You know, it's all everything is situational, but there are like basic guidelines, and then you go from there. So I don't mess with white balance
Hmm.
in the camera. I keep it on auto. The newer cameras are so good at auto white balance that if it's that off, you notice it when you bring it into Lightroom. But I also edit every single one of my photos. I shoot raw and I import them into Lightroom. Even if I'm just taking a picture real quick over there, I will bring it into Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, touch it up, and then send it out. I don't think I have ever once just shot a JPEG and put it out there because I think they can always look better.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Adobe Lightroom. Is that a free program? What is paid program? Like, how's
No,
it? Oh, it's not.
no, unfortunately, Adobe is very pricey. There are, I don't, I was actually lucky enough. So I was working with somebody, God, 6 years ago. I was briefly, you know, helping them with their website. So they purchased me a license for Adobe Lightroom 5.
Okay.
So it's outdated, it's old, but it gets the job done.
Yeah.
Uh, right about now, you can Adobe has moved from full pay, like fully buying a license, to now paying monthly.
Yeah, I have seen that. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's if you're
I guess like in the long run, it would be cheaper.
it keeps you up to date on
Yeah.
everything. So like where I'm okay with having a 6-year-old version of Lightroom, some people aren't because you know if you're making $5,000 per wedding, you know, 100 days a year, you want that best technology, you want cutting edge, you need that. So
Yeah.
for some people it's worth it. You know, if you're making that, if basically if you're turning a profit on your photography, and it pays for itself.
So, I kind of okay. So I wanted to talk more about like applications and software and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I almost want to dedicate a whole episode to free alternatives and stuff like that, because you and I both use DaVinci Resolve. I absolutely love it, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a lot of like video, like photo editing software out there that is a good free alternative to kind of even just to get you started and stuff like that. Maybe that'll be like a next episode thing, so I won't dive too much into that. I do kind of want to double back to like hardware and stuff like that a little bit. Like I guess like I'm trying to think of like the biggest thing that has always been like a confusion to me is going down the list of like gamma, contrast, sharpness, hue, blah 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 blah. Every time I ever adjust that stuff, I can never figure out like what's the true light, what's this. And like even if you like, if for you YouTube viewers, like me and Eric looks blue or like cool, and I have like the warm lighting and stuff like that. Like there's a very very stark difference between his camera and my camera as far as like how the lighting works. Like what at what point do you have to use outside lighting to use less settings on the camera? Like what's the rule of thumb for lighting when it comes to taking photos?
Lighting is arguably more important than understanding how to use your camera. Like just because you're a great photographer it's a whole different ball game. Like understanding how to use a camera and take a good picture means nothing if you don't understand how to manipulate the light and how to, because that's all it is. That's all like a camera is. It's just capturing light. It's 100% like you need to know lighting, and a lot of it is trial by fire, learning. Just throwing yourself to the wolves, taking a picture, saying this is terrible. Why is it terrible? Because their face is washed out because of the sun. What can we do? I just recently have gotten an in-home studio set up with 2 400-watt lights, a softbox, an umbrella, and a backdrop. So that gives you so a lot of people do shoot natural light. I used to shoot natural light all the time, and so it's you need to know where to be and how to frame it according to where the sun is and what your light source is. So if you have, a lamp and a window, essentially they're the same thing, right? It's just a light source. If you have a big flash or if you have the sun directly on you, it's a light source.
Now, I've heard things about how there's a difference between how natural light is captured and how artificial light is captured. Like they it's noticeable because like I don't have a single bit of natural light in my room. And I don't think you do either. I think you're pretty like your lights are. Oh, you do have a net. Oh, yeah, okay.
Just a tiny little piece of the window is busting through.
Well, and then like there you go. There's like YouTube viewers. You can see like there's a stark difference between like someone who's using natural light in addition to obviously artificial light. There's no way that the backlight isn't like that. No. But like for me, who's using a warm LED light, warm strip lights, and a warm ring light in the background, like it very much like is all one kind of lighting, and you definitely look a lot like not like different, and not like different in a like quality way, but like your lighting has like definitely shifted quite a bit.
Well, I actually have
a little bit. I think it was a little bit darker last time.
I have a small LED panel light behind my monitor, and I have a small LED panel light behind my other monitor. I have a blue film in one and a red film in the other to kind of create a natural light, because if it wasn't, it would be hitting me so hard in the face and I would look so washed out. So I had to adjust the color of the light and then adjust my white balance in my video camera, in my webcam. So I guess photography kind of allows you to understand how lighting works. I probably couldn't explain it, but if you have an eye for it, you can kind of figure out, do I look great? No, probably not, but it looks better than like if you're watching on YouTube, like look at that. All I did there was take the blue film out of my light, and it's a little washed out for my taste. Oh my God, I can't do it. So I don't know. Lighting is a very, very complex beast. I would say that I shot probably for like, God, for like 5-6 years, I shot only natural light, just natural, all outdoors. And when you're doing like a mountain bike race or something, if you're in the woods in like a heavily wooded area and there's it's tough because then you got to crank your ISO up all the way. But oh, did I crank it up too much? Does a shot look bad? And natural light is you're at the mercy of the weather.
Yeah.
You're at the mercy you're at the mercy of the sun.
The
You're at the worsey. You're at the mercy of what you're shooting. I can't say, hey, people who are racing, who on a guided course, like, can you please move over here because the sun is better? No. When you're in a studio, guess what? You have full control. You have full creative control over everything. I say that's the biggest difference is you can control artificial light a lot easier. You can control the sun too with reflectors and V flats and stuff. You can bounce the light. So if you're doing a portrait of someone and the sun is high noon, the worst time to take pictures, but guess what? Sometimes you got to take pictures. Sun is directly overhead, blasting your client in the face, just absolutely washing their face out. Guess what? I got my girlfriend Liv over here with a big $5 foam board from Staples, holding it up and just creating a shadow. So now it's a nice, soft, even light instead of that harsh light. So you can manipulate all the light. It's tough when you're by yourself, but it can be done. But it's something you learn over time, like what's gonna look good, what's not. The rules are meant to be broken. In some scenarios, having them blasted in the face with sun could be artsy and cool, and having a weird shadow over them could look good. But for the most part, you want that nice soft light, which is why most of the time that nice overcast, when the sun's high in the sky, but you have overcast, so you have that filter, it creates a nice even light. Or even just go into some shade, go under a tree or something. But studio lighting is much easier to manipulate because you can literally just grab the light stand and move it, or change the softbox, or just something.
Yeah, like I'm like very, very slowly learning lighting, just because because I've been using the webcams for streams and stuff like that. And for a while there, this thing was actually like my sole source of background or foreground light. I just had that reflected off of a wall, and I had it pointed at the thing with a paper towel in front of it to kind of diffuse the light and stuff.
If it works,
and it worked for a long time. And I got this for like $8 at Walmart, and I love. And it has like a little USB charger too, so I used to just plug my phone in, stuff like that. So like, I mean, like, you don't need to have expensive equipment for lighting. You just kind of have to figure out what and I guess like what I've learned with lighting is reducing shadows on you, because you always tell me like the shadows, like with my hat, because I like to wear hats when I'm streaming and stuff like that. Find any way to like reduce shadows, and I've like gotten really used to it. And I know if like in the beginning of the episode it was a little shadow because I forgot to turn on my backlights. But so basically I have foreground and background light as strip lighting. I have middle ground light as like my overhead light, and then I have foreground light, and that's what I've always learned: foreground, middle ground, background, and that helps reduce shadows in the spots that it matters. Like obviously you can see shadows right here and right here, but I think that's less important.
It creates separation too. I'm not even the best with lighting. I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning. It's putting together a studio has helped me a lot, because now I can say, well, if I put this light here, it's trial and error. It's watching a shit ton of YouTube videos. Some people are, go to school for this. I did not. Surprise. It's just seeing what works for you.
And now, like, as far as like just photos in general, like using, like, is there like colors to avoid in the backgrounds of pictures and stuff like that? Or is there certain like things that you shouldn't have in the background that will diffuse whatever? I know people when they're like painting their houses. I remember when I used to work at a paint shop, people would go nuts trying to find colors that complemented. Is there like colors that just don't work in cameras, like when you're like, depending on what shots you're doing? Because I know your background is like a warm orangish color. Or
I mean if yes and no, like you got to feel it out. Like you don't want to probably photograph someone who has an identical colored t-shirt to the backdrop, but like at the same time, who knows, that could look cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's it's yes and no. The backgrounds do matter a lot, though. Just like we always talk about, like what's in your frame right now.
Yeah.
An amazing photo could be ruined by like a traffic cone being there or like a water bottle. Now you can just pull that out in Photoshop. You can just edit it out. But there's some purists out there who believe in keeping photos as they are. I don't give a shit. I'll crop shit. I'll edit shit out. Not heavily, but you want it to be as natural as possible. But if I get a banger shot and there's like some dude taking a piss in the back, guess what? Photoshop. See ya.
Perks of living in New York and New Jersey is might be a problem. That might be something that could happen.
That could happen. Or you're taking pictures at the beach and you just you just see some weird shit going on in the background. Like it happens. So it's just keeping your frame clean. And God, what else? I was gonna say something. Oh, a huge thing is being aware of your background, right? Talking about like
that's kind of what I was getting
the
at.
Background. So if you're taking a picture of someone, right, and there's a tree behind them or a telephone pole, right, you don't want them directly in front of it, because guess what? You take a picture, now it looks like there's a fucking telephone pole or a tree coming out of their head when you could have framed it nicely and had a nice tree in the background and had them. It's little things like that. So that's a big thing when I take pictures is just watch like what's directly behind the person. You don't want like, I go back to a traffic cone. Well, I don't know what you don't want a traffic cone sitting on someone's head. You don't want like, it's just pay attention to stuff. There's so many air quote rules of photography, but at the end of the day, you do whatever the fuck you want. If it works for you, it works for you.
It's so funny that you brought up like knowing your background, being aware of your background and your surroundings and everything, because it's the exact same thing they teach you when you're in firearms courses.
I mean, they're both shooting, right?
It was so funny because I'm like, I've heard this so many times, it's been drilled into my head so many times, and it's just funny to hear you say that. But like I've ruined a picture. I can like think of an exact picture that I ruined because it looks like a palm tree is coming out of the back of someone's fucking head. That's it, and it's and something huge like that you don't want to Photoshop out, because that now like good job, a full eighth of your photo is artificial. Yeah, and then it kind of sometimes, like, I mean, like, I'm sure you're good at doing the cropping stuff, but I've seen people that crop and it creates like this uncanny valley where you can like tell that there was something there, but it's not quite there.
That comes with time.
Yeah.
I'm not the best in Photoshop, but if I can't make it look 100% natural, I won't do it.
Yeah.
Like if it looks like, wow, you very obviously just painted over a tree, I'll just keep it in there. Yeah. Just go in Microsoft Paint and just use the eraser. Perfect.
I know, like, I've seen like on Photoshop, like the blender tool where you can like extract colors from the background and whatever.
Photoshop is so disgustingly powerful. It's, you can almost do anything you want in there, and I can't even scratch the surface of how powerful Photoshop is. Like, I go in there and every time I go to do something, I have to look it up because there's so much to know. There's people out there who have such a vast knowledge of like Photoshop and even other editing, like DaVinci Resolve or Sony Vegas for like video editing. It's insane. Like, I gotta look shit up. Like, I gotta, like, if I go to do something, because I don't do it enough. I don't do double exposures enough to remember how to do it. I just go Google it. Like, how do I do a double exposure in Photoshop?
Well, you know what's funny is like because I use Krita, which is it's kind of like Photoshop, but it's free and stuff like that. The more I've used it and the more I've looked up, there's like, I mean, obviously Photoshop's going to have more, but it definitely has like a good amount of stuff. Like free software, there's a lot of free software out there that can do the stuff that Photoshop can. I just think that like Photoshop is always going to have like the edge because they have the funding behind them and stuff like that. They're always going to have like the cool stuff and everything. Okay, so there was one thing I did want to bring up because we were talking about backgrounds, like making it so like it like blends better and stuff like that. Well, yesterday, and actually I think it was last week when we went to go record and everything, I had to go change my shirt because my beard was like blending in with the shirt, so it just kind of looked like straight beard all the way down. You couldn't like see like the beard itself, and like even this is like starting to get annoying because it like blocks off like a third of the beard. But I actually yesterday I was wearing a black t-shirt. What I did is I wore a green bandana to kind of diffuse the color in between. Like, it's just like small things like that I've picked up on, like that helps with just kind of keeping in mind how to like make a background better. I always thought that was really cool. And it was actually they're the reason I ever think about stuff like that.
Nice. That's lighting too. That's so you can create separation on anything. So like if you take a picture and just blast somebody in the face with a flash, right? It's only going to hit right here, which means it's going to hit your beard as equally as it's going to hit your shirt. But now if you shoot from if you put a light overhead, right? It hits them in the face and down, and then you put a reflector under them so it bounces back and hits the bottom of their beard.
Okay.
And it creates that separation. So like lighting, you can control that. You can wear a black shirt and have a massive beard. Is it gonna look good? Who knows? I don't know. Is it? Let's find out, right?
Hey.
But you can create that separation. They do a lot of things. They do that with hair. They call them hair lights, and they'll put a light behind, so it'll create a hair light or a rim light, and it creates a little bit of lighting around your hair.
Okay.
So even if you did have dark hair on a dark background, it separates. It's all about separating what you want, and it's purely manipulation of light. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can take the same exact camera, same exact settings, take the same picture, go move the lighting a little bit, and you can go from like a nice, happy, joyous picture to a very dark, dramatic picture just by changing lighting. It's cool how much you can do when you figure everything out. And I don't mean figure everything out, because goddamn, I don't have. I'm like I said, I'm winging it half the time. It's fun though, and if you know, I'm not like putting a light in the next room. It's moderately winging it, right? I have a base knowledge, but it's trial and error. It's seeing what works, seeing what's cool.
Yeah, so it sounds like from like if you're trying to like start this hobby and you're trying to like do more photography or even filming for that matter, it sounds like lighting is your like step one. That's the thing that you need to be working on the most. Would you agree that like kind of lighting might be like the more important thing to like emphasize in the beginning of your hobby career?
At the very beginning, the first thing you should do is click your camera. If you have a camera, if you have a DSLR, I have
one too.
I have a Canon T3i, right? This is an entry-level DSLR from like 2012. A lot of people are going to, want to upgrade. I just upgraded.
Yeah, I remember you got like all your equipment and everything.
Yeah, I upgraded, but guess what? With the proper knowledge of lighting, a good photographer can outshoot somebody with a $10,000 setup. Hold on. What I mean to say is a bad photographer with an expensive camera will be outshot by a great photographer with a shitty camera.
Okay.
It's lighting. I could if you have proper lighting, you can take a $200 DSLR, that's ancient in as far as technology goes, and take pictures and have people believe it was taken on a flagship top of the line camera.
Yeah.
It's about lighting. It's about knowing your camera. So if you're trying to get into photography, get yourself an entry level DSLR. Make sure it has manual mode. Make sure it has interchangeable lenses, and click that thing into manual, right? And learn how to balance your ISO, your aperture, and your shutter speed. And from there, as concurrently while you're learning photography, learn lighting, because lighting is just so important.
It's so funny because this almost ties into what we were talking about last week with mics, and how like you remember we were talking about how like we can make these like cheap $20 $30 mics sound good. I mean, they're like someone with good sound practice, like practice with audio, with good audio practice with a great XLR mic is going to sound way better than we will. But someone with great XLR settings and not really a whole lot of audio experience could potentially sound worse than us. So like it definitely like it's so funny how it like how that all ties into like the same kind of thing, audio visual stuff. That's really cool.
There are there is a video I was watching when I was looking to upgrade my camera because I wanted to see how far I should upgrade. I'm still a couple generations behind. I still have I just got a used 7D, a Canon 7D Mark II. So when I was going to upgrade, I was like, you know, what's the big advantage? So I found this video. It was probably Peter McKinnon, and they took $100 camera and $1,000 camera, and they said, "Tell me the difference." And they took the same pictures, with obviously very good lighting, like a professional at setting up lighting with probably pretty expensive lighting. I have a good eye. I couldn't even tell the difference between $100 camera and $1,000 camera. $1,000 camera still isn't even anywhere near top of the line, but that's still a very good camera. But just to say, like, with enough skill, knowledge, and drive, you can make anything look good. You know, if you understand how to manipulate the light, I genuinely could not tell the difference between his photos on like $100 camera. $100 camera is basically a play thing, right? Like you have to go back 15 years to even find a camera that's $100. Like even the camera I gave you, it's probably $150, $200 camera.
Yeah. I love that camera. I actually just found my charger, so I gotta actually start doing
I'm
gonna start doing all my TikToks and a lot of these, like, and I actually thought about setting it up for this webcam too.
You should. Those are so I have a T3i. I gave
Let me grab
a T2i, which actually my buddy Martin gave me that T2i, and I now Differus has it. Martin, if you're listening, you're the best. So those things are phenomenal. Even video cameras, the only downside is that they do not have video autofocus. If those things had video autofocus, people would probably still be using them today as YouTube rigs, as vlogging rigs.
Yeah, so that might be why I would, like, I'm definitely gonna give it a try, like, see if I can get it to focus, and especially like if I'm just sitting here streaming and stuff like that, I'm not doing a whole lot of moving around. I'm just gonna be like me showing. It's gonna be just me on screen. I feel like this would be perfect because it's like I'm just gonna have it focus on me, maybe kind of like grade out the background a little bit. I'll have to sit down with you and have you teach me more about that. But I also want to be able to practice with it and do like food photos and stuff like that. Like, especially because I want to start doing more of the smoking thing. And
it's phenomenal for that.
Make food porn.
It's perfect for that. Oh God, make food porn.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, no, Mr. Celery, stop.
I'm just gonna start putting like anime girl faces on all my meat when I'm smoking.
Please don't. No. This is taking a weird turn.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of weird turns,
oh no.
Fun fact, I just shaved my legs, and
okay.
So this is how my mind works. Like, not to go too off topic, but like, you know, just this is just something that's just like really entertained me, and it really kind of like paints a picture of like how I operate. I went to Dollar General because when I was at Dollar General before, I had not Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and not everything's a dollar there. I happened to see like not like knockoff Crocs, just Crocs that were relabeled with a different company because they're Croc-offs. But they were basically the same thing. I actually bought them. They were $6, and I saw it and I'm like, ah, shit, I'll pick them up some other time. And I went back and I was shopping there and I turned around. I saw summer shorts, like women's summer shorts that were just hot pink, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. It would be funny if I just wore those. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll just buy them. Why not? Apparently, I fit in a women's small too. By the way, I think I've established this. It's because I don't have hips. I don't have like that, like women naturally
flat as a board.
Women naturally have bigger hips, but my ass keeps it tight. But anyway, so after that, I was like, well, it's gonna look weird if I just like put on these and just have these big old hairy legs. So I went over and I bought like a cheap little thing of shaving cream and a 3-pack of like just cheap like 4-blade razors, and I went home and shaved my legs. And I bought some Vaseline with cocoa butter too, so I could like
Was this just in the middle? We're like, oh, let's do a photography Q&A, and you're like, hold the fucking phone. This episode's based on photography.
Well,
Everyone,
no,
shut the fuck up. I need to tell you about my pink shirt. Where did that come from?
I'm getting to that. So we were talking about like, and because I did on camera or on stream, I was wearing the pink shorts. I was showing off and everything, and I actually did a TikTok with that. And a couple people had said you should do an OnlyFans shoot like that. So that's where I was kind of like going for. I want to get really good at like the photo thing, because I'd love to be able to just do like a stupid OnlyFans thing. It's not going to be like nude or anything like that. It's literally just going to be a fat bearded guy with booty shorts and shaved legs, and I think it'd just be a really funny photo shoot. I was always thinking about like driving down to you and having you take the pictures.
Hire me. I'll take some for a couple for the right price. Fucking spread eagle, gooch on display. I'll take the pictures.
Don't make me spread eagle in those booty shorts. Pop out's real in those things.
All right. All right. Let's rewind. Let's get back on topic.
I'm just glad the webcam doesn't capture the bottom. What I was wearing though, I had to like get up and adjust real quick. Anyway, so but
that's actually a big market though. Like because everyone, there's so many people doing OnlyFans now. Like there's a big market. People want like photographers and videographers, because guess what? Like it's tough to take self portraits, especially when you're doing God knows what.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like, I think if I were ever to like hire you to take the pictures, like posting on my OnlyFans, photos by Eric.
Yeah, I'll take a cut. I'll take 10% of the earnings.
I'll just pay you for the photo shoot.
Well, I don't know. We got to see if it starts taking off. I might feel a little undercut.
Yeah, you have to come up here, or I'll go down there, and we'll regularly take photos if it takes off. But
oh my god, yeah.
I will.
Got to give the people what they want.
I will require a butthole pic at least at one point. So you're gonna have to be ready for that.
Give the people demand butthole pics.
Somewhere down the road, Eric's gonna have to see my butthole.
The people have spoken. They demand.
That's the thing. I don't know why, but for some reason, that's like the big thing, and like everyone just talks about butthole pics.
I have never been on an OnlyFans.
Neither have I. But
I've never seen an OnlyFans.
Okay, so from what I understand, like OnlyFans is like audio and video that people have to pay for to get access to, and there's no restriction to the content you can put on there, which is why it kind of turned into like a more obscene.
It's a porn site.
Yeah.
It's
but that's not like, but like in concept, it's almost like a Patreon for like for media content. It's very much like a Patreon for media content, except there's no end project. Patreons are usually like projects and stuff like that. OnlyFans is more like a paid Instagram kind of thing. Like you get to share your photos, or Twitter. I guess Twitter is more like on point, because I swear to God, every time I open my Twitter, they suggest an OnlyFans page to me. I'm not following a single one, but they still suggest it to me.
Sounds a lot like you're following a couple OnlyFans.
I follow streamers, a lot of streamers, and I actually, you know what? I think I figured out who I'm following that causes that.
No! I just happened to figure out who I'm paying $15 a month for.
I wish. I mean, I wish I could afford $15 a month, but
Yeah, me too.
But
I just got my brakes fixed on my car. I'm out of commission.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so like, I mean, OnlyFans like is probably a good space to show off your photography, even if like you have like a specific niche photos and videos. Like, I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be NSFW. It doesn't have to be like 18 plus. You can take great photos or have a great photo shoot, and it could be of like action shots of dogs or something like that, and people will pay. Like, that's cool stuff.
I'll take pictures of whatever. Like, at the end of the day, it's not like a creepy thing. Like, oh, I can't wait to see girls naked. No, it's I'm a photographer.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I can produce a product that people want. It's not like honestly, there's a lot of like, especially in the cosplay community, there's a lot of like really fucking like predatory.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Like that's a big thing, and I hate that, because like I like to think I'm like a very nice, genuine guy, and I people like that. Now I'm walking around with a big ass lens and a camera at a convention, and there's like a negative connotation that goes along with that. And I'm like, no, I swear, like I'm not trying to like kidnap you. I like I like taking pictures, you know?
It's so funny because I'm on the other side of the lens. Like what I want to do is usually on the other side of the lens. And I always see like any content creators. Like, I mean, I know I went on a rant about the hot tub streamers like last week, but they're still content creators. I see them more as content creators than just like nudists or whatever, you know. Like I very much see anyone who's like making content on the internet as content creators. So like, and I just like, and it sucks because I'd love to talk to them about like what their marketing strategy is, because some of them like some of these people I've like seen that like, you know, they start out with like 5 or 6 people like starting out or whatever, and then they blow up to like 1,000, 2,000. I need that. I've been stuck at just under 300 followers on Twitch for like half a year.
Wait. Can I need to talk about this. I messaged you about it before. I saw the most brilliant thing today. Okay, I'm driving down the road because I needed to get my car fixed. On the fucking telephone pole, there's a big white sign, handwritten. It said, I'm not gonna say their name because that'll pinpoint like near like where I live. It said someone's YouTube name, drawn on pen and paper, stapled to a fucking telephone pole, and I was like, okay, now you've caught my interest. We've been so desensitized to ignore digital ads and online marketing. Ad comes up, fuck this is an ad. I saw this, I went right to their page because I'm like, that's a hustle. That's like they're putting in the legwork. That's like 34 comments. Drove by this sign, wanted to stop by. It works. Yeah, it works. It's the old school marketing is going to make a comeback. Now I know 34 people might not seem like a lot, but I didn't look at the dates or anything.
That's almost my entire follower count.
It was a guy with 70 something subs on YouTube, right? Which is more than we have, more than I have, but that's a very small account, right? And he just went out, did the legwork, right? And almost half, 50% of the people that he got to follow him was from one single sign on a telephone pole. I thought that was brilliant.
And this, at the end of the day, like kind of ties into. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, and it ties into photographers, content creators of all kinds. Like, in a market that's so flooded with people trying to be the next big thing or just at least climb the ladder a little bit, in a market so competitive right now, standing out in any sort of way is the way to go. And like obviously I shaved my legs in booty shorts, and that wasn't really the intention, but you know, I'm like, I kind of just follow whatever like first thing pops into my mind, and I think that's really fun. And like eventually I'm gonna like find something that's really cool. But in like the same thing with like photographers, like say like you're like, oh, I want to start taking pictures of this specific thing, just do it. Be like, like standing out. That guy that made the sign and posted it on a telephone pole, that's standing out. Like that, you are no longer in the sea. You are going against the tide a little bit. Like if you're getting swept away by a wave, if you try to struggle to get over the wave, even if you still get pushed down, people are gonna notice you at the top of that wave. Like, you know what I mean? Like a weird analogy, but you know what I mean.
I'm absolutely more of a go under the wave type of person. Like in real life. Like,
are you talking about like actual surfing?
Yeah,
no, I meant more like
you go under the wave.
I was trying to make a metaphor here, but like, but what I mean is like, if you just kind of go with the flow, that's great. Like you can go with the flow if that's what you're happy with. If you want to stand out, going with the flow will not get you noticed. Even if you try to struggle against the flow a little bit, you're at least going to create some ripples. People are going to look that direction. Like, you know, if you throw a rock into a calm pond, like you're going to see the ripple effect. Like, it might not be huge at first, but at least it turns a couple eyes in that direction. Like, that's what you got to do. Like, you got to pick something to stand out with, because it's so flooded, and you could just be another streamer or another content creator that does gaming. And if you want to do gaming, great, but you got to find a niche. I believe it's niche, like Frederick Nietzsche. Niche.
Quiche.
Okay.
Quitchy.
So is it Quitchy?
All right, shut up, Eric.
Quitchy, goddamn. But you got to find your niche. You know, you got to you push that niche, and you know you're gonna always. That's what's gonna make you stand out. I mean, once you start a hobby, like the photography thing, like there's so much to learn and blah 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 blah. And like Eric said, he's still learning that. I'm still learning this side of the camera. Like there's so much that like we're still learning and everything. And well, yeah, you are too, but you have expressed that you want to be on the other side. But
I don't want to be on this side.
Yeah, no, this is the only time we'll ever see him on this side. He said he was going to start streaming. It's been a week.
Yeah, I never. Whatever. Call my bluff. Maybe I'll stream tonight. I'll do it just to prove you wrong.
You said you were going to stream after we got done recording yesterday. You go, I might stream, and then I never saw it.
I said might. If I all right, guys. Rule of thumb: if I say I might do something, rest assured there is 0% chance I'm doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just fun. Well, but that's kind of where I'm going with that. Like wherever you're comfortable with, if you want to be a content creator, whatever you're comfortable with, like the camera thing, like everything that we talked about before, the basics that you get to get you going, like it kind of like to help you build the momentum, the building blocks, the foundation is important. Don't like try to like shoot to the moon without building a rocket first, you know? Like you can't just jump to the moon, you know what I mean? Like you got to build that foundation. You got to put in that work. Like all these hobbies, there's so much to them. Like at first when I started content creating, after Half Past broke, obviously, I thought I could just turn on a camera, be really loud and be really fun. Like, yeah, that's great. The personality is there, like, but there's so much more to it. You got to be able to like focus on this, focus on that. There's so much other stuff you got to worry about. So like building the foundations will only build you up more in a quicker way, because when you get up to that point where people are starting to notice you, you have the infrastructure, you have that foundation ready to go. So if you go from a 3 view average stream to a 300 view average stream, you're ready for that. You have the know-how, you've had the practice. That's why like a lot of times you see people that blow up with like one video on TikTok to get like 2 million, and you never see them again because they weren't prepared for that. Like they didn't know how to like ride the wave.
I believe the kids say these days, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
I say that a lot lately. I've been saying that a lot lately.
Nice. Yeah, it's true. You got to put in the work.
I didn't mean to get too far off the camera thing, but I actually ran out of questions, so I figured
we're done. We're done with the camera thing. That's it. Wipe your hands. No,
legit, like
guys.
Legit, I just ran.
I hope you learned something.
Legit, I just ran out of questions. So like, if there's anything else you want to add to, like, if there's anything I missed and maybe that you wanted to talk about with the camera stuff.
Yes. Just real quick, guys. If you're on a budget, don't let that discourage you. I am also on a very, very tight budget. Okay, there are ways to do it. There are like off-brand flashes. You don't need a full studio to get killer portraits. You don't need a top-of-the-line camera to get killer portraits. I am currently shooting on like a 7-year-old crop sensor with a $99 50mm lens. If you do want to know my exact setup and what I use, message me. Ask in the comments. I will gladly go through my entire setup, my entire gear bag, everything I have. I love talking about photography. I love getting people into photography. I love guiding people in the right direction. If you have any interest in photography, contact me, and I will hold your hand and skip you through the gates of hell that is photography.
I'm not even kidding. The second I ask him a question about lighting, photography, video, anything, like he will go like 30 minutes just ranting, pointing me out, having me pull up like this like scenario right here where we're both on camera, and he'll walk me through the camera lighting and everything like that. Eric is very good at like jumping in and helping out when people ask.
Nothing if not thorough. Yeah, so as far as like the budget goes, there's like different levels. You can take great portraits with a single flash and a diffuser. You can do, even budget lights. I have budget lights. I have Flashpoint. They are the Adorama store brand, right? I think I picked them up on sale for 2 400-watt studio lights for like $75 a piece, which is a killer deal, and they're amazing lights. And then you can go all the way up to having like a $10,000 setup, and $20,000 worth of lights. So at every level of your budget, including just having a camera and a window and just waiting for it to not be waiting for it to be good weather, you can do it. So just get out there and do it. And the more you practice, the more you watch YouTube videos, the more you learn the craft, the better you get. And then you work up to one flash and see what I can do with one flash, and then I don't know, whatever you find a sale, get a bigger flash, get a softbox. You can always work within your budget. And I think that's the biggest point I want to make is photography can be a rich man's sport. It doesn't have to be, though. Sure, someone's going to have an advantage on you when they have a flagship like a Canon, like 1DX Mark whatever, with a $3,000 lens. Of course, they're going to have an advantage. That shouldn't stop you from going out there and hustling. Because even if you have, my favorite lens, my second favorite, because I got my 70-200, but my favorite lens that I use most of the time costs not even under $100. It's a 50mm lens. They're cheap and they're amazing. So just get out there and do it.
I will.
I understand the finances are always tough, and even just to get that initial investment. But if it's something you want to do, just save up, save a couple bucks, and go get yourself a cheap entry level DSLR and work with it and do it. I believe in you. I don't know who you are, but I believe in you.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all that people need to hear. Also, as far as hardware goes, I think we both have used Neewer, Neewer.
Yeah, they're great. They're budget. They're great.
And they're like always on sale on Amazon. Just keep them on your wish list. They'll pop up on sale every once in a while. That's a really good way to like get into like lighting and cameras. They have cameras too, I think.
This right here. This is a remote flash or a remote shutter, right? It's from Neewer. I bought it like 7 years ago. I've never changed the batteries. It doesn't turn off, and it just works every single time. And I probably paid $7-8 for it. I don't know how. Look.
I can see the display.
It's on right now. I've never changed the batteries in this thing, and it's 2 AAAs. I've never changed the batteries in this thing. It's on 100%, and it just works. You just plug it in and it works. So like
that's lasted longer than some watch batteries do.
It's insane. So like the cheaper brands aren't necessarily bad, but do your research. So there's some things you don't want to cheap out on. There's something, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. There's some things you want to spend the extra money on, like it's worth. So some things are worth saving up, paying double for, than getting the cheap option and having to replace it 4 times.
And if y'all have questions, you can go to the comments, subscribe to us, and whatnot. And in our Discord, like I said, we have all sorts of people in that Discord that are willing to help in all sorts of ways under all sorts of topics at any of us. Like, I mean, if at
everyone, do it. Just
everyone. Don't at everyone.
Do it.
I took away that. I took away that permission, like for just like any random person, just because it got really annoying when people were doing it in the promo channel. But
I did it. Hold on, I at everyone the other day, and it's like,
did you?
By adding, to like promote something for myself. It was like I think I at everyone to like, I was like, go look at my TikTok, and it was like, you're about to directly contact 70+ people. Are you sure? I'm like, yep.
Well, like, and the thing is, like, the people that have the power to at everyone, I'm okay with them having it because they're active members in the Discord.
Good
they're
point.
very like, I mean, like we got Swole, we got Zombie, we got all them. Like with Liv with her game development. Like we got someone who does game development in our group. We got someone that does audio development. We like, and so like just add Eric. And if you ever join the Discord, I mean, he'll be more than willing to chat with you. Like, I mean, I'm like, and same goes for me. Like, I'm not like maybe not for camera and photo and video, but I'm more than willing to chat about.
But for growing a beard,
about beards and voice acting and stuff like that. We're gonna do a voice acting one eventually because that's definitely something that I never take any formal lessons, but I've like very much learned on the go how to like do different inflections and stuff like that. But yeah, like there's someone in the Discord that does just about anything. So yeah, the Discord's an awesome place to be.
I take it back. Don't at everyone. I could now see how that'd be horribly annoying.
Yeah, that's why the role that you automatically get pints. Yeah, because everything's beer related in my Discord. You can at specific people, you just can't at everyone. And if you do, it I think it's like it causes a timeout or a cooldown or something like that. Or no, it it might automatically delete the message. I can't remember, but I still get pinged whenever someone at everyone's. I just like you don't ever see the message. So I know there's some people that do. You know who you are.
Was that me? I don't. Well,
no, that's not you. I didn't. No,
okay, good. I was like,
because like the people that
I don't know.
People that ping that at everyone, I get a notification for it, but it doesn't show up as a message.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so I've seen a couple people that do it, and like, it's not as often as it used to be. Like when I first started Discord, but it still pops up every once in a while.
I turn all my notifications off if I'm in a Discord.
The only one I do have on is my own, like Discord. The Discord's the only one that still keep up.
I don't think I even have notifications on in that because that's the Discord that I keep up all the time. It's always up, so I see things as they come up. I'm in like 20 other Discords. If they've ever tried to contact me, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, like and most of the times, like if there are people in other Discords that are trying to contact me, or like I get an @ everyone notification, I'll go and look at the @ everyone notification or whatever. But if they're trying to contact me, just mute or just DM me. I don't really care. Don't DM me and just say hi, what's up. That's weird. I don't like that. I won't respond.
That is weird, right? In Discord, I feel like if somebody does that to me, I'm like,
I just straight up ignore him. And you know who I'm talking about because he did it a couple days ago. Remember?
No. Yeah.
So I won't respond if you just say what's up, unless you're like my friend. Like, I mean, I text Eric, sup, sexy bitch, all the time.
It's true.
But yeah. So yeah. Okay. So yeah. There's a Discord advertisement. Oh yeah.
Link will be in the description.
Yeah, link will be in the description. I think
Definitely.
I forgot it last week. No, I didn't. I remembered the Discord link this week. I think the only thing I forgot last week was the link. No, the link to the
Reaper plugins.
The Reaper plugins. Yeah. That's the one I did forget. I gotta go back through, or maybe I'll just post it up in a comment or something. So I think
can we get a Patreon or like a shared Cash App or something, so like people can donate and like just
give me
money, guys. Just give me money. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Just pay us, okay? Just send us money.
Oh Lord. Anyway, so from moving on from there, we're gonna move on to our content creator shout out of the week.
No. What? Can we reverse? All right, let's pretend that. Let's pretend none of this ever happened. I had a good segue, okay? So go back to you building up. You say, you got to build up the foundation if you want to become a good content creator. And I was gonna say, talking about building a solid foundation, our featured streamer and content creator this week has done just that. And then we were gonna say it was gonna be good, okay? It was gonna be good.
It was gonna be the best, man.
All right. Proceed. Go on.
Okay, so this week we actually have WagnerKills this week, because speaking of someone who's really like put in the work, he's a ESO streamer, an Apex streamer, does a little bit of Rocket League every once in a while. I think that's the only 3 games I've really ever seen him do. Does he do anything else?
I haven't seen him stream Apex in a long time. It was because like his computer got like weird or something when he streamed Apex.
Yeah, he does that's right, because he couldn't he was having trouble getting it to display properly or something like that. Yeah, but yeah, so he's an ESO streamer, very chill guy, very 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 easy to talk to, very smooth talker. But
it's true.
He went from he's like everyone, he started at 2-3 streamers. He's been seeing some pretty consistent, slow but consistent growth the last couple weeks. So he's definitely been putting in the work, building that foundation. Very much has got a very nice setup. He always is constantly changing stuff too. Like he made his own logo and stuff like that. And that name is WagnerKills. WagnerKills. And
he's got a phenomenal setup. This man's got a beautiful microphone, beautiful webcam.
Yep.
If he's wearing a hat, his hair is out of control. Okay, so if you see him wearing a hat, tell him to take the hat off.
He's got some pretty on point facial hair too.
Yeah,
or a little Canadian
man. if you're looking for a good Elder Scrolls Online streamer, PvE. Playerverse, is it everyone or Playerverse environment?
It's environment. I actually just found out recently. I didn't know that. I always thought it was player versus everything. I used to think it was everything.
I don't know.
I didn't know what I meant. Yeah.
Check him out, WagnerKills on Twitch. I don't think he doesn't use Twitter, and his YouTube is also WagnerKills.
Yeah, I'll make sure I put the links in the description. I've been pretty good about making sure I put the content creators links in the description. I forgot to ask Billy about the about his link tree, but that was about it.
Oh yeah, I should make a link tree.
Yeah, I keep telling you to because I'm sick of putting all your freaking links in there. It just floods the description.
Guys, you ready for this? I might make a link tree.
I'm not gonna.
Do we know what that means?
Yeah, it means if you don't, I'm not gonna put your links in the description this week.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
So if you don't see links in the description, Eric didn't post this.
I guess I probably should. But yeah, so check out WagnerKills if you're into the Elder Scrolls Online. Excellent PvE player. Very knowledgeable. Cutting edge builds. I believe right now he's playing a dual wield Magicka Necromancer.
He's actually streaming right now. XP, skill point, gear farming. New players welcome. He's very, very open to new players, people that are just starting out, to veteran players that want to ask him questions. He's very, very knowledgeable in the game, like very knowledgeable in that game, and he's definitely someone to talk to when it comes to ESO. Very much so.
Yeah, definitely check him out. What else are we working with tonight? Do we got I think that's it.
Yeah. Do you have any closing remarks that you wanna share with? Did you have something you want to share with the class, Eric?
Yeah, Maw Energy. I'm not joking. Sponsor me. I love you guys. Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Yeah. No. So okay. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and Eric's actually working on an outro and intro for Half Fast Broke that hopefully either this week or sometime soon, this week, next week. Depends on like how well we can coordinate and everything, because old Eric here has got a job, so he's a little busy.
Working, man. What can I say? Liv actually had a really good idea. She said if we the first part of that with the video of you and me would actually work well for an outro and actually keep the no, seriously, pay us, like, and then use the second half with the logo as an intro.
Yeah, so, not a bad idea.
Yeah, but I would like to get better video and put it in. I'm just practicing editing, so doing something fun like that.
Yeah, I like editing. I'm just comfortable where I'm at. I gotta check out that Fusion thing that you showed me, but we'll talk about that stuff next week.
Sure.
I want to break down the DaVinci Resolve and Audacity and stuff like that, like just the big free softwares that you can use. So all right, with that, I don't think I got anything else. Do you want to do your signature sign off?
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it. This has been Eric. And oh man, my outro is as bad as your intro.
My God,
this sucks. You put me on the spot. I don't know what to say. You put me on the spot.
Usually it's a very natural of every episode, so you know.
I'll do it next time. Let me do it next time.
I'll do the sign off next time. You do the intro next time. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Oh man, people are gonna be like, oh my goodness, don't ever let Differus do it again. Eric is so good looking and good at this. Well, what's his Cash App? I'd like to pay his bills this month.
All right,
guys.
This has been Half Fast Broke, y'all. Have an excellent week, and don't forget to check out Epic Games. Mystery game comes out tomorrow or Thursday, I guess. Thursday the 27th.
It'll be out by the time you guys are hearing it. See ya. Hold on, it's still. Where's the button?